Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of the Nurse and the Psycho Show, episode 1. And I have my beautiful nurse friend here, Miss Margaret Donahue. And my name is Lana Anderson Royce. And we're going to tell you a little bit about what this show is all about. I'm going to start first, Margaret, if that's okay.
That's awesome.
All right, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about me. I'm the psycho, and I'm calling myself the psycho because I am a trained psychotherapist. And a little bit about my background is here, you guys stay with me here. Here's ego talking. I have a master's degree in counseling and psychological services. I have a Vedic master in yoga, Ayurveda, and primordial sound meditation. I'm also a master in Taekwondo. I have a 4th degree black belt in the martial arts. So I have 3 master's degrees. But you know what? None of that is freaking means anything. It really doesn't. That's why I'm a psycho. All of that means it's all really bullshit. It's complete freaking bullshit because you know what really matters is not the books that I read, the theories, the papers that I wrote, the things that I had to memorize and regurgitate. It's about your heart first. It's about your passion for what you're doing and the love that you have to help others. That's what we're all about. I also have certifications as a doula. I've attended over 400 births over 20 some years. I've been a yoga teacher for 23 years or something like that. I'm a certified hypnotherapist. I might have missed some, but really my passion is health and wellness and empowering mostly women is in my heart, but I love working with guys too and pets. But mostly women is really where my heart lies. And we also have a retreat center, Blissopia Retreats here in Arizona. And this is our newest love. We've also had boxing clubs, title boxing clubs in Minnesota, and a yoga studio there as well. My journey started not so easily. I have had my own health struggles. And as you watch some of the episodes, I will unfold those as my vulnerability opens up to be able to share with others all of this. Margaret knows some of my story as well as I know some of her story. But it's, I don't want to divulge everything because I don't know you people. I got to get to know you a little bit better so I can trust you to share my deepest and darkest vulnerability to crack open and share it with you. So, and I think that's fair enough because you're not going to just share stuff with anybody. And actually, those are really good boundaries. Those are really good boundaries coming from a psychotherapist. I think that's all I wanted to share right now, Margaret. I would love for you to share with all of our listeners a little bit about your background.
Awesome. It was great to hear you, Lana. We share that passion. So basically I was a mom. That was my claim to fame. I have 5 children, and when my youngest child, who is now 17, was about 2 years old, my husband said to me, "Have you ever thought about what you might like to do once, all the kids are in school and everything?" And I was like, "Well, um, maybe I could drive a bus." Because then I could, be on the kids' schedule, or maybe I could do daycare. And he said to me, "Have you ever thought about maybe being a teacher?" I'm like, I don't like kids that much. No, I'm all set with that." So he said, "What about a nurse?" And I said, "Well, I'm not smart enough to be a nurse." So he kind of piqued my interest. And so I looked into it and I wrote my application letter, hand wrote it because that's how computer literate was, oh, wait a minute, I'm still that computer literate now, Glana. I'm still bad at computers. But I wrote a letter, and a couple of weeks later, I got a letter back in the mail, and I'm like, yeah, it's probably them laughing at me, telling me, I'm unfit to be a nurse. And lo and behold, it was an acceptance letter to Brockton Hospital School of Nursing. And you could have knocked me over with a feather. I could not believe that they accepted me. So that started my journey. I did the night program, which was a 4-year program. I was the oldest person in my class. And right off the bat, they started calling me Mama Margaret. I was voted class president. I was valedictorian of my class. And so that journey started in about 2007. My heart has always been touched by the pediatric and the geriatric population. I love children and I love older people. I just absolutely adore them. So after nursing school, I worked a little bit in the hospital, and I went into home care. I'm basically a chicken soup nurse. That's what I call myself. I believe that back rubs and hot showers and holding someone's hands and really listening to them works better than a pill any day of the week. And I'm quite sure my patients
I
would
would,
tell you the same thing.
I would love for you to be my nurse for
I'll
sure.
make you, oh, I can't say make you chicken soup, honey. I have to use one of your chickens. I'll make you chicken soup when I come.
We have
But
we have chickens here on our retreat center.
yeah, the clock. So yeah, so I just ended up doing home care, and I absolutely loved it. You were able to give your patients that one-on-one care and attention that every single person deserves. That's just where my heart was. So in 2020, I was faced with my own health crisis. And, again, we'll go more into detail with that, the further we go in our episodes. We're just giving you a basic overview right now. Like Lana, all my degrees, I'm certified health coach now. And all of that stuff is wonderful because it does give you knowledge, it does give you experience, it does give you confidence. But at the end of the day, to me, it's just making those connections. My greatest gift, I think, is the ability to make people laugh. If it's not fun and we're not peeing our pants with laughter, then let's just hang it up. Like, why bother? Let's have fun and let's laugh and let's help and let's heal each other. That's really what's driving me. And that's why Lana and I, we just immediately meshed when we met, because we're both on that same page. So don't ever let anybody's degrees or the white coat with the embroidery on, don't ever let any of that stuff intimidate you, because no one knows you the way that you know you. You are the expert. You are the professional. Period. The end. And nobody can argue with that.
Period. The end.
Period. The end. Exclamation point and all that other stuff. But yeah, so I had my own health crisis in 2020, and I got a huge wake-up call as to what the regular people go through. I mean, I'm a nurse, and I could not believe the experience that I had. I couldn't believe what was going on around me, to the point where I left my nursing career. I made a choice to no longer pursue that part of it because it just was not aligned with who I was and with what I knew. And that's why I ended up, thank goodness, finding this other avenue, which, becoming certified as a health coach. What
Yes.
else, Lana? What else can I
Um,
give you, baby?
can I tell you a joke?
Well, only if it's dirty.
Okay. So
Okay.
you've already probably, because I only know 2 jokes, but because I think life is kind of funny when you really like step back. Okay, here's a joke. why did the yogi return the vacuum cleaner?
Well, let's see, because you only have two jokes. I think I've heard this one 15 times, but why, Lana?
Not
Do
because it
tell.
sucked, but because it came with too many attachments.
Oh, waka waka.
Waka waka, waka waka.
Waka waka. Yeah.
So
So,
I would love for us to share with our listeners what this show, what it's all going to be all about, and why they should be tuning in, why they should come to episode 2, why they should do 3, 4, 5, and keep coming and referring other people.
well, other than the fact that we're friggin' awesome,
Well, I mean, yeah, right. Because
other than that, okay, go ahead.
yeah, so
Okay.
it's all about health and wellness because it's coming from a nurse and a psychotherapist. So it's not, we don't just have our bodies, and we don't just have our minds, and we don't just have a spirituality. It's everything. Our bodies, our minds, our spirituality are all layered together. We are multi-layered humans on this planet. So we incorporate everything in our podcast here, our show, about how it integrates, how it moves together, not just the physical part. So we're going to incorporate all of that in wellness. So we're going to talk about true health, not sick care. So I call it sick care or even death care. So we're more in the preventative, not reactionary. So we want you to be healthy at the core, at the root. So we dive deep. I like to say that I'm a little bit of a pimple popper. Like, I want to get in there. I want to get the stuff out. Like, let's get down at that core of that pimple and get it out. Nutrition, we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about mental health and mind health, fitness, everything in moderation. Keep Margaret. What else are we talking about?
Well, I don't know. I was kind of loving that pimple popping thing. I mean, that's kind of like my addiction.
Right?
Yeah, yeah. So I could recommend some really good videos if anybody was interested. I'm just saying, I'm just throwing it out there. You started it. Yeah, and also, anything that anybody else may be interested, a lot of people just, there's so much misinformation out there, and there's so much, it's like a rabbit hole. If you try to go online and look up your own things, and if you have no medical background, it becomes very overwhelming. And I know myself personally, and I do have a medical background, and with everything that happened to me, I literally threw my hands up and called you and Mark. I did a Google search because I just needed someplace hot and warm, just to get the hell away. And like, it was very frustrating. It really was. I had lost hope. And again, I have a medical background. So we have so many resources, not just Lana and myself, but people we know. We have such a huge network that if we don't know the answers, we know somebody who does have. There's no one size fits all here on our program.
Margaret, do you realize that we have how many years on this planet between us
Oh, like 110.
of lessons? Yeah,
Yeah.
110
Yeah.
years of
Yeah.
lessons
Yeah,
to
we've been on this
share.
planet together 110 years between the two of us, approximately.
And
You probably more than me. Yeah, I'm really the older one.
so, and I've been doing health and wellness since I was 18. So I've been doing something within the helping service of health and wellness for almost 37 years. And
Yeah.
Margaret's been quite some time. So you got a lot of wisdom, a lot of experience, a lot of lessons learned. And we want to
Mhm.
be your resource for getting healthier, stronger, feeling more empowered, and to be able to laugh when you
Yeah,
maybe have found it really hard to laugh.
right. Yeah, you may feel like crying, but by the time we're done with you, you will need to go put on a Depends. That's a guarantee. Because that's what we do. We just laugh and we have fun and we learn and we grow, and it's a beautiful journey. Life does not have to be so difficult. Life is not meant to be a struggle. It's not. And we have like so many antidotes and so many little things. And I mean, I'm sending Lana stuff all the time, funny little ditties that I find, and this the stories that, like, just me myself, things that have happened to me in the past 5 months will blow your mind. Blow your mind.
I think a lot of people get comfortable with suffering and
Yeah.
think that suffering is a part of life.
Yes.
And in my vision, none of us should be suffering
No.
at all.
No.
So that's my goal, is to help people out of suffering, out of pain, whatever that means for them, and then to get them into a more blissful state. And in yoga, in Sanskrit, that's called Ananda, is
Mhm.
bliss, Ananda.
That would be a beautiful name for a little girl.
Yeah,
Ananda.
right?
Right?
Ananda.
That's pretty. Well, you know what I think what happens, Lana, a lot, and it happened to me too, and I've heard this so many times. Somebody goes to their doctor with whatever their issue is, and they're basically told in a roundabout way, well, that's just kind of how it is. Well, when you have this autoimmune disease or when you have this or that, yeah, and that is so not true. That is so not true. It's not normal. It's not natural. You were put on this planet to be healthy, to be happy, to be vibrant, and to be living your best life. And if you're not, then you need to be here with us on when, Lana? When did we decide we were going to do this?
Next Thursday, be here. We're gonna, you can log in on 623-986-2899. There's no password to get in. We'll just admit you as soon as we see you come in. So 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, or 5 p.m. Pacific Mountain Time. Next Thursday, that is October 20th, 2022. Oh, October 20th, 2022.
Oh, I like
I
that.
know, right?
Can you
And
give that telephone number one more time?
yep,
Just
it is
because if people are like me and slow, I'd be like, oh, you went too fast.
write it down. I'll have it in the notes too, underneath
Okay.
in the description. It's 623-986-2899. And look for that in the description below. And next week, we are going to be, we are looking for the following people. Kind of a little bit like what Margaret was talking about. We're looking for people who keep going to their doctor and not getting an answer about bloating. Are you bloated all the time and you just haven't been able to get an answer? Do you fart a lot? I mean, you fart
That's
a
kind of
lot.
personal.
Do
What a way to lead off, Lana.
you fart, loud or something? Do you, do you have you not pooped in a week? We want you here. If you have not pooped in a week, if you haven't pooped in 2 days, we want to see you here. You better be here. Otherwise, I'm going to track you down. I was going to say, I'm going to track your ass down. Yep, I'm going to. Yeah.
Now you know why she's the psycho, people.
Weight gain or weight loss. So if you've been struggling with that, be here. If you've had food allergies, be here. Irritable bowel syndrome. If you've been diagnosed with irritable bowel syndrome, it comes with a plethora of symptoms. And I hate when we talk about like the diagnosis, because to me, that is the most unhelpful thing ever. It was just someone who said, put a bunch of symptoms together and said, let's call it this. Yep. And then what? And then what? Are you still suffering from it? Let's get you out of suffering.
Yeah.
And
let's the hell with the fancy smancy labels and acronyms.
Let's get you out of the diagnosis, because that's not who you are. we're gonna be going deep on all this shit.
Oh yeah, if she's already talked about farting, you got, I think you know we're going deep.
Okay. Anything else? See you guys next Thursday.
Sounds good. You got a date,
Margaret.
baby girl.
All
I'll be
right.
here.
So signing off with the
Nurse
and
and
the
the
psycho.
psycho. Peace out, home slice.
Peace out.